Have you ever seen the results of a study and your first thought is, duh? Well, that's how this story starts, okay? A new study shows that advertising sales of high sugar cereal, when it's aimed directly at kids under 12, it resulted in more sales.
Duh. Shocking.
So it's funny because they realized in this study that this advertising to adults didn't change anything. Okay. Right. So Jennifer Harris, and you're going to want to remember that name. Okay. Jennifer Harris. She is a senior research advisor at the Rudd Center for Food Policy and Health. Okay. In the study, Harris and her colleagues looked at all cereal purchases between purchases by 77,000 U.S. households over a period of 9 years. Okay. Those 9 years was from 2008 to 2017. They also looked at the Nielsen ratings data, which closely monitored all the ads that these people in the household, both children and adults, saw. They found a very strong relationship between how the advertising was targeted to kids and how much sugary cereals the households bought. And in fact, just 9 advertised cereals dominated the purchases by this household. And as you can expect, they were pretty popular brand names like Lucky Charms, Honey Nut Cheerios, and Fruit Loops, which made up 41% of the total household cereal purchases. Notice all of those definitely considered high sugar type cereals.
Yeah.
And they said about 1/3 of the households with kids bought at least one of those 9 brands in any given month. So this is not just a one-off. This is a pattern of continuing to buy these high sugar cereals.
Right.
They also noted that there was no link to increased purchases when those same ads were targeted to adults.
Yeah.
Okay.
That makes sense.
And so the study really showed that it's important for these companies to reach kids and that parents probably wouldn't buy them for their kids if the kids weren't asking for it. Basically, it comes down to pestering advertising, meaning that as a parent, your children are pestering you to buy these, so therefore you buy them. So it's not advertising directed at you, it's advertising directed at your kids. Okay.
And then they're an echo chamber of that advertisement in your head constantly.
Well, and it kind of goes back to that we've talked about that if you go down a cereal aisle, you will notice some of these name brand high sugar cereals, if they have a mascot, the eyeballs are pointing down, and it's so they can connect with kids that are shorter. And that's creepy as all get out once you know that, because then when you walk down the aisle, all you see is eyeballs. It's
look at it.
Ooh, we're not going to go down that rabbit hole. But, so 2 decades ago, the food industry launched the Children's Food and Beverage Advertising Initiative, okay? And this was a voluntary effort to police itself. This goes right in line with our whole food conspiracy theory about how the food industry does not self-regulate itself very well. They say they do, but they don't. Okay, I'm not going to get the tinfoil hat out just yet. But, so what's interesting is, so the vice president of this advertising initiative, he defended the food industry's efforts. And he notes that this study only looked at ads through 2017. And he pointed out a 2024 study showing that children's exposure to cereal ads on TV programming has dramatically dropped. Now, here is the kicker, okay? Jennifer Harris, who published the first study, is the same person that published the 2024 study that this guy is quoting, okay? And in this study, which he obviously didn't quite understand, she proved that the reason why the advertising has dropped for kids is due to a decline in TV viewing. It had nothing to mean about the number of ads or, the way that the ads were being marketed. It was strictly due to less people are watching cable television where it's a constant barrage of commercials.
Right.
So, oh my God, it was so, I mean,
It's
how
a full
dare you,
circle moment.
how dare you discredit somebody's study with their own other study? Okay.
I
I
love it.
mean, oh, this should have been on Twitter. It was so good. But so, as we know, kids' eyeballs are moving online now. Okay.
Mm,
Which could be even worse because every algorithm online is hyper personalized to that person. So
yeah,
all they
it
have to
is.
do is engage with one ad for a high sugar cereal. And next thing you know, all the ads they see are going to be right in line with that product.
Yeah.
So even though we're watching less TV, it actually kind of points to that kids can actually be exposed to more of these commercials as long as they interact with at least one of them.
Or if the right channels, if they involve themselves with the right YouTube channels,
Mm-hmm.
that,
And there are
they can,
so many kids programming where
oh
all they
God, yeah.
do is quote unquote watch days in the life of other people. And
Yeah.
what are these people doing? These kids are eating cereal at a table, getting ready for school. And it just happens to be they're eating Fruit Loops. Well, then now my kid's like, ooh, I need some Fruit Loops because my favorite YouTube personality eats Fruit Loops for breakfast.
Yeah. It doesn't take a lot.
No, but it really does. At first, I was like, oh, I totally don't have this like pestering advertising even with my kids, but I totally do because my daughter obsessed with Bluey, absolutely obsessed. And they just recently came out with a Bluey cereal. Well, I am extremely grateful. My daughter does not know about this cereal yet
Don't
because
say it
as
too
soon as
loud.
she does, I guarantee you she will be asking to go to the grocery store with me. Every time I come back from the grocery store, she will ask me if I got the Bluey cereal. And really, this cereal is just Kick cereal that's blue.
Yeah.
It's not even like in the shape of a dog or a
Oh.
paw print.
Oh.
Blue balls for
But
Bluey.
but it has Bluey on it.
I know. Everything has Bluey on it now. You can buy Bluey toothpaste, Bluey, shampoo. I mean, oh, I love Bluey, don't get me wrong, but do we have to have every product on the planet with a Bluey version?
For a while. For
Yeah.
a while, it was Paw Patrol. I remember you couldn't get away from Paw Patrol. Like, you couldn't throw
Or
a rock in the grocery store without hitting something Paw Patrol endorsed.
or she was obsessed with the movie Frozen, Anna and
Mm-hmm.
Elsa. And I didn't realize that the movie came out before my daughter was even born.
Yeah.
Okay. But yet she's obsessed with it and she's 5. So just think about it. Like 8 years after the first movie came out, she's still obsessed with it. And so it totally makes sense that these companies attach themselves to popular culture.
Yeah.
Because then, yes, if your child is obsessed with a character, another one she's obsessed with is Stitch, little blue alien,
Yeah.
who is not really cute. He's kind of like gangly looking. But if she sees anything with Stitch on it,
Yeah.
okay, it could be a toilet plunger. She is going to beg and plead for a Stitch toilet plunger.
That'd be amazing. Sure, baby. You can have a Stitch toilet plunger, but you're gonna use it. Okay.
And honestly, we
Yes.
don't, stop up toilets very often. So I don't know how
No.
often we'd use it,
River.
I mean, we do have a lot of hair in my family, so we're more likely to unclog like you know, not a toilet, but like a bathtub.
Hey, kiddo. Time to come plunge. Hooray.
But I'm just saying, so I get it, but this study is so obvious that yes, if you target children, they are then going to tell their parents.
Yeah.
And then the other study is so obvious because yes, we have stopped advertising to children under 12 because the majority of Americans have canceled their cable TV.
Yep. I only
Captain
get got
Obvious
by.
for the win there.
I only get advertisements because 2 of my streaming services are the cheap ones,
Yeah.
and so Here we go.
I know, because we used to have like Hulu with no ads and it was wonderful. And then
Yeah.
when we re-upped, we have ads now. So I've seen way more commercials. But honestly, the majority of the ones I see, and I really hope this isn't targeted at us, but it's
Yeah.
all the horrible pharmaceuticals and their long list of side effects. And yeah, those bother me big time. But so my question to all of you at home is it true that as a parent, you are more likely to buy a cereal due to your kid pestering you about it? What about
Something to
you?
ponder. Oh, me? Yeah, for sure. I'm not as easily influenced. My husband, however, like he gets got every time they go to the grocery store. If we go and I'm like, look at this list, we're gonna get these things. And then, oh, you want a candy? Fine. One candy. Great. Leave. Husband, kid, go. Hey, see this list? Throw it over there. Let's get this, that. Some soda. Chips? You want some chips? 2 bags. I don't buy chips because of the price has been absurd, but they bought 2 bags last time. Like, he gets
And
got.
you are not bitter at all.
I'm just saying, they have no self-control. I'm
I am
mean
a
mommy.
stickler for the list, but
Mm,
every once in a while I have that shiny object syndrome when I see like clearance or markdown.
okay,
Yeah,
yeah, that's fair.
I have to like dig deep. Keep walking, don't need it.
I mean, sometimes, like, I was walking by Kroger's the other day. They had the massive bags of, like, almonds for, like, $5. Like, sometimes it's really worth it, and sometimes it's not so worth it.
Yeah. So let us know down in the comments below. Are you swayed by pestering from your kids?